this is episode of The Breakdown. I'm Mike.
Dude, what are you wearing?
You said wear a football jersey.
NFL football with 2 O's. American.
Oh, I thought you said
Thank you for throwing a flag.
football is good. Football is good.
Anyways,
you're Austin.
I'm Austin. This is The Breakdown. Thank everybody for watching our past episodes. We have a loaded episode for you today, all NFL free agency. And we have a special guest with us this evening. It's Royce Whitted.
Hey, it's an honor to be here. Look forward to tonight's show.
All right, we'll just kick it off. Like we said, it's going to be an NFL show. And I feel like the question I'm going to ask is, who do you guys feel is winning the NFL free agency so far?
I'll let you go first, Royce, since you're the special guest.
I'm going to have to run with the Cleveland Avengers. Did I say Avengers? I mean the Cleveland Browns. Anytime you could acquire a talent like Odell Beckham Jr., Olivier Vernon, and Sheldon Richardson in one offseason, it is a big acquisition, especially being in the AFC. I say in the next year or so, they could possibly come for the Patriots throne in the AFC.
That's a
Come for the Patriots throne. They're not the Avengers,
huge
they're Thanos. Like, they're not the Avengers, they come for the
I
Patriots
definitely
throne.
agree. Anytime you get a guy like Odell, that's an instant.
Yeah.
Instantly makes you better. And then you go with Jarvis Landry being there, and then they signed Kareem Hunt, who, yes, he's spent it for the first 8 games, but down the line, you had him with Nick Chubb. Oh, that's going to be, I'd be scared if I'm a defense. And then Baker's probably just like, yes, I love life right now. I have all these weapons to play with. So I kind of agree. I feel it's a huge, they've had a huge offseason. I can definitely see how they win. I feel another team that's, could quietly battle him would be the New York Jets. You look at the signing of Le'Veon Bell, C.J. Mosley, and then you have some kind of small ones like Brian Poole. That's going to be a starting nickel. Jameson Crowder, starting slot wide receiver. Asamela, with the guard from the Raiders last year, starting offensive guard. They've just signed starter, and then you go sign probably a top 3 running back in the league to go with your rookie quarterback from last year.
I'll even say possibly the best running back in the National Football League, even though he didn't play.
He's the best all-around running back. He can do it all. He can catch. He can run it. You can get the ball 20 times a game in the rush, but then he can also go out and catch 10 passes a game. The guy, and he's pretty much unguardable, and you have to prepare for him each and every game. But like you said, the New York Jets, to me, they're the best team right now who's winning the offseason. The moves that they made, I know they're still behind the Patriots. But you look at that division, you have Miami, you have Buffalo. Those teams they're kind of going downhill, and look for the Jets to maybe move up and try to contend with the Patriots. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but they can definitely get a wild card spot, especially the moves they make like Le'Veon. He's going to help Sam Darnold. What does a young quarterback need? A good running game. And another thing too, if you got him coming out the backfield, if Sam Darnold gets in trouble, got a little check down. And then Le'Veon Bell can do the rest. He's gonna be a quarterback's best friend. And then you look at Josh Bellamy, Jamison Crowder, the moves they made at wide receiver to try to get him some more weapons. And then on defense, the Jets are known for having good defenses historically. So you put it, you add in C.J. Mosley to the already stout front, and then you have Jamal Adams in the secondary. This team, I'm not saying they're gonna win a division, but the moves that they made, they definitely can make a push next year for the wild card.
Yeah, I think they'll be better this year. I don't think they're gonna make playoffs this year. I think you'll see improvement. But I think 2 years from now, not this year, but next year, with another good free agency class, and maybe you're gonna get some good guys in the draft this year and possibly next year. I could see that being the year where they may really make their stride and maybe get a wild card spot. Who knows? Maybe take the throne from New England for the division.
Yeah.
Tom's only getting older.
We'll have to calm our nerves down.
Maybe. And look, I'll even comment on the linebacker acquisition with T.J. Mosley. T.J. Mosley and Darren Lee. You got Darren Lee, who's one of the best young linebackers in the National Football League, and then you're giving him somebody like a C.J. Mosley to run with his running mate. Ooh, it's gonna be dangerous. I'll be sweating if I'm Belichick and Brady in New England, but they're still the kings of the AFC East.
Yeah, like you said, C.J. Mosley, he also being in Baltimore, Ray Lewis had to have influence on him, teaching him the ins and outs of being an NFL linebacker. So, like you said, him being a mentor kind of for Darren Lee, the opportunity is huge for both of those guys in New York.
Just think if they would have got Anthony Barr to come there as well.
Right. It'd be scary. It'd be a scary front seven right there.
Super scary. But I feel another team, and I'm going to let Austin take on this one. How do you feel about the Raiders offseason so far?
I love the Raiders offseason so far, but to me, what the Raiders, whether they win the offseason or not is what they do with that 3 first-round picks. That's basically what they've put the future of the franchise on. And, making those trades with Khalil Mack and then that Amari Cooper trade and getting those picks back, those picks are so important for the next 5 years for the Oakland Raiders. If they strike out on those picks, they're going to be rebuilding again in 3 or 4 years. I mean, and so with John Gruden, they had added Antonio Brown and LaMarcus Jordan. That's going to help them on defense and help David Carr, in the passing game as well. So you look, like you said, the Oakland Raiders are definitely a team that's up there.
How do you feel about it, Royce?
I feel like the acquisition of Antonio Brown, anytime you can add the best receiver in football to your receiving core, it's just going to help Derek Carr. I feel like you may have acquired a big name before you move to Las Vegas next year. But with those 3 picks, you got to make a move. Anytime you have those 3 picks, you got to do something with those. Anytime if you see the best 3 players that are available at that position, doesn't matter where you can get better at, you take those 3 players. And I feel like not this year, but next year in the AFC West, they could make some noise.
See, I feel like the reason I like the moves they've made so far is because now with the draft picks, they can focus on other needs. Like with the Antonio Brown signing, and they also signed Tyrell Williams, who was former Charger receiver. Basically now, I'm not saying they can still go after maybe like a DK Metcalf, but it basically gives them flexibility to where they don't absolutely need to draft a receiver now. They have some solid receivers to go with, and then like you said with LaMarcus Joyner, I mean that's a really good safety to add. And then they had signed Trent Brown, so there's your left tackle for the future. It basically now I feel they need to focus on just defense, get that defense strong, and then maybe like if a Jonah Williams falls to maybe like that second pick they have, maybe take him up to like strengthen the lineup. But I feel the signings they made so far have just been great, and it kind of sets them up for the draft how they can approach it.
Okay. And they also acquired Vontaze Perfect later tonight. And,
they did that.
And he also, not for all the right reasons, for all the wrong reasons, he fits that Raider mold. I feel like a lot of Raiders Nation loves that.
Yeah, Vontaze Perfect totally fits that. You think Raiders mentality? I feel he perfectly goes into that.
But like he was saying, when you make those type of moves, those are your needs. So now with those 3 picks, you just take the best player available. Like you don't need to go after a wide receiver. You don't need to go after a cornerback. They have other needs like you were saying, but now that you covered most of your needs, you don't need to that's not a priority. You take the best player available. You don't have to reach for anybody. I think the Oakland Raiders put themselves in a position right now. They can be flexible and they can, they have the opportunity to do something special with this year's offseason.
And potentially during draft day, that war room could be very relaxed knowing that you got those 3 draft picks. And I'm just going to pick up the best player that's there.
You look at it too, like if there's a guy that they love, they have picks to go move up and get him. They don't have to risk future assets to go get.
Especially with those 2 late ones, like I would stick to the number 4 pick like that because you can get, pretty much almost anybody you want. Because you figure, I'm not saying I agree with it, but say the first pick's Kyler Murray. Well, they don't need a quarterback, so basically that's one team where you really don't have to worry about the take. It's really just the other 2 in front of them who might take a guy that they're. This is my guy.
Well, you have those defensive guys. You have Nick Bosa, and then you have Josh Allen, and then Ed Oliver. So if you have one of those guys that you absolutely love at 4, you have flexibility. You can wait. Whichever one is taken and which one is available, that's who you take. You don't have to go. Now, that's obviously assuming if Kyler Murray goes number 1, which I assume that he will be number 1 pick. But we'll have to wait and see. But like you said, they can wait and just chill, and whoever is available, they can go get him.
I agree.
And they need defensive line help too. So that
they do. So Quinn Williams is another name too that can be thrown out there.
That'd be huge.
But all right,
any one of those guys.
The one thing that I've been dying to talk about is
the Falcons.
No, believe it or not, it's not the Falcons. Is the Jaguars paid a lot of money to Nick Foles to be their quarterback. I think Nick Foles is good. Is he an upgrade from Blake Bortles? Absolutely. But $22 million a year. I realize the guy's a Super Bowl winner, but that's a lot of money for Nick Foles. How do you guys feel about it?
You have to look at the market. There's not many quarterbacks that are out there in the free agency market. You got somebody with a Super Bowl background who won a Super Bowl. Somebody who's been proven to be a solid starter when he's gotten a chance and got the keys to the offense. And this just draft, other than Kyler Murray and Dwayne Haskins, it's not a very quarterback-saturated draft, and I just felt like the market favored Nick Foles, and he took advantage of it.
So I'm going to go to my stats guy. What was the contract again? I knew the contract was multiple years. It was 5 years?
It was 4 years, 88
4 years, $88 million. So, like you were saying, they don't like any quarterbacks that are in this year's draft. I agree. I don't think there's any, really this year's quarterback draft is too much of a risk. There's no dead set, this guy's going to be a star. But next year, you have Tua Tagovailoa. The following year, you had Trevor Lawrence. I think given 4 years to Nick Foles, was too much. Now, I understand that their front office is in a win now mode because you have Jalen Ramsey, you have Leonard Fournette. Those guys are on. They're still on rookie deals, so their contract's going to be coming up and they're going to get paid. So right now, I think they're trying to we need to go try and win a Super Bowl now. But at the same time, you can't risk your future. Nick Foles, to me, is just a system quarterback. He is perfect for the Philadelphia Eagles system. They run a similar spread. When he goes under center, you can tell he looks very uncomfortable. And last year, if you look at Jacksonville, they run a lot of under center stuff because Leonard Fournette's their workhorse, and he's better getting the ball in the handoff. So I think it's going to be an issue with him, not to mention they don't have no weapons. They have no wide receivers. Now, DK Metcalf, he should be available for them at 7. I do expect them to take him and try to get him Nick Foles some help and get him some weapons. But at the same time, to me, he's still a system quarterback, and they just risk their future from a money standpoint by investing in a guy that hasn't really proven to be a successful starter outside of Philly.
I feel it was a very good take. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm actually interested to see how he fits there because, like you were saying, they have a lot of good young pieces there, and they're in a win down mentality. We don't want to waste because like every team, you got these guys in rookie deals. Eventually, they all got to get paid.
Yeah,
and
they
you're going to lose some guys. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Jaguars now. But kind of going into who's winning the free agency so far, I want to kind of get into the coaching hires. Who do you feel either made a super bad hire or a super good hire?
Okay, I'm going to start it off. Even though they're in the division, I'm going to have to say Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a very good hire due to the fact that Bruce Arians has been somewhat of a quarterback whisperer over his career. I'll say this. If Bruce Arians can channel in to anybody like Jameis Winston, he can channel into any NFL player because Jameis Winston's history in the NFL has not been the smoothest path due to some of the off-the-field controversies that he's been facing.
There's been a lot.
I will say this. Due to him being in a division and potentially him bringing the offensive scheme where he has a lot of vertical game and losing 2 key pieces like Deshaun Jackson and like Adam Humphries, I still feel like Bruce Arians has enough key pieces to make this work in Tampa Bay. I hate to see it happen in Tampa Bay because it's in a division, but
it's so funny because we're sitting here talking about Tampa Bay possibly being good this year. It feels like the last couple of years has been just like that.
Past 4 seasons, Tampa Bay.
This year's going to be the year. Next year's going to be the year.
Yeah.
The following year's going to be the year. Tampa Bay has so much talent, but they need to put it together. And I think if there's any coach that can put it together, it's definitely Bruce Arians. But the guy I'm going to go with, which I want to talk about, I'm not going to go with. He's not my best hire. I want to talk about him because I think it's a huge deal and it needs to be discussed. Is what are the Arizona Cardinals doing hiring Cliff Kingsbury? The dude went 6-6 last year as a college head coach. How did he get an NFL job? Explain that to me. Do you have an answer?
It's everybody wants the next Sean McVay. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Everybody wants the next Sean McVay, and they look at him and they see a young-minded offensive coach. And Patrick Mahomes was there when he was at Texas Tech, and they were like, "Man, you get him a quarterback. Look what this guy can do." And they're thinking Arizona, what do they have to lose? They've been stinking it up of late, and they're trying to get this. They want to get that next young, great offensive mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And to piggyback off what you just said, I do feel like Sean McVay has basically started a virtual riot.
Absolutely.
It's a revolution.
Everybody wants a next hot young gun, and they think they're going to find the next whiz kid, and sometimes it's not always the case.
Really, these teams are going to strike out more than they hit home runs on these hires. You look at the guy from Cincinnati, Zach Taylor. He's a young kid, young quarterbacks coach. The floor, and then you have Cliff Kingsbury, and then you can even throw Adam Gase in there because Adam Gase didn't have success with the Dolphins, and he got another job just because he's an offensive mind. Mm-hmm. But at the same, so you're talking about the Cardinals. Them hiring Cliff Kingsbury makes them have a lot of pressure to draft Kyler Murray, in my opinion. Because Cliff Kingsbury runs a spread, and Josh Rosen is not really a spread quarterback, so they're thinking, we got to do something now, we got to make a splash, and Kyler Murray is basically it's either we draft Kyler Murray or this thing fails. Mm-hmm. And that's not a good position to be in for a GM because, Kyler Murray, he's not the clear-cut number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Royce said. There really is no, this guy's going to be a superstar.
Right.
There's no guarantee between them. Now, the 2 best, I think everybody can agree it's Murray and Haskins. Everybody agrees.
From a quarterback standpoint.
Yeah, from a quarterback standpoint.
But from an NFL quarterback standpoint, you could probably argue that Haskins could be a better NFL quarterback than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, it's either he's going to be a superstar MVP candidate, or he's going to be trash.
Well, he's been playing baseball for 4 years.
Right, he's been playing baseball for 4 years.
And
That's exactly right.
And obviously, like, piggyback off what you just said, I feel like with Murray, he has the ability to be a great passer, but he's more renowned for his legs and his escapability. Like you said, being in that spread offense, that could work wonders.
Okay, it can definitely work, and it's basically like it's either Kyler Murray's the quarterback or nobody's the quarterback.
Bingo.
That's how they see it, and that's why they drafted number 1, in my opinion.
It seems like they're putting all their chips on the table for this one guy.
Yeah.
And let's see if it works.
They're putting all the chips on the table for him and Kingsbury because they need to have that to work.
He went on record when he was at Texas State saying, if I had the number 1 pick, I would draft Kyler Murray.
Right.
Well, let's see if
And that's the thing, like all these, like everybody in the
position.
media, like us right now, we're all making fun of them for going with Cliff Kingsbury. Like they're saying, like we have to make it right. We have to make sure that we look smart. So that's why they have to go with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
That's not a good position to be in. But,
Yeah.
but I like your like Bruce Arians. If there's a guy who's probably like the best hire this offseason, it was probably Bruce Arians because he did a good job in Arizona before he was there. He had to
Oh,
retire.
I agree that definitely like most eye-catching, Cliff Kingsbury. The
Right.
best hire, Bruce Arians, just because I feel he can get the best talent out of that team. If anybody can do it,
And they're
Bruce
super
Arians.
talented. They have talent at every position. They just got to put it together. They just didn't have anybody to put it together. He has a good resume and a good history of putting good teams together. Like the Colts, whenever he took over for Pagano, and then he goes to Arizona and does the same thing. I think that the Tampa Bay could be a playoff team next year. They're probably they're more talented than Carolina.
to be a playoff team. They
Yeah.
definitely have the talent.
They've always had the talent. It's just they haven't had the right coach at the helm to tap into that talent for the guys.
And they've had good coaches. Like Kirk Cutter, he was a good offensive mind, but they need like a CEO. And I think
Bruce Arians.
They need
Yeah.
a stern leader to get the best out of that team.
I know we said this was going to be a full NFL show, but something happened today. I don't care if you're just a fan of sports, this is must talk about. Anytime somebody gets a $430 million contract, you get to talk about that. So anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Mike Trout, the outfielder for the Los Angeles Angels, got a 12-year, $430 million contract. Man, you want to talk about a boatload of money? He could buy like 5 boats with all that money.
they say he makes like $198,000 per game. like that's incredible.
And then if you break down even more, every day, not game, every day, making $98,000.
See, the beauty of it all is the fact that, hey, I got paid, but the downfall of it is I'm still in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you're still the Angels, not the Dodgers. Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, Los Angeles Angels uniform.
This is a 2-minute warning.
Well, as much as I'd love to keep talking about Mike Trout and how the Angels are still not going to be good, that was our 2-minute warning buzzer. So that's going to be moving on to our fan question. So let's see what it is for today. And this question is coming from Corey. And it's, how does Mark Ingram leaving affect the Saints? I'm going to let you guys carry it away.
I'm gonna take this one first.
I think it doesn't affect them really much at all from an on the field standpoint. Like, yeah, Mark Ingram's a great player. He's gonna be missed a lot here in New Orleans by a lot of Saints fans. But look, they added Latavius Murray from an on the field standpoint. He does exactly what Ingram did for us last year in the offense. The touch is going to go to Alvin Kamara. He's the best player on the field. When he steps on the field, he's the best player on the field. He's our best skill player. I mean, obviously Michael Thomas is in there too, but he's definitely our best, most dangerous player with the ball in his hand. So he's going to get a lot more touches, and you see Latavius Murray kind of take over that Ingram spot and just take a little pressure off of Kamara. So from a standpoint of how it would affect him, I really don't think it's going to affect him at all from an on the field standpoint.
And I have to agree with you. I feel like when the addition with Latavius Murray, I mean, you're virtually getting the same player, but Latavius is 6'3". There's not many 6'3" running backs walking around the NFL or around the world, period. I feel like Latavius can also bring a presence of a big physical closer to where 4-minute warnings come around.
Oh,
and
yeah. 4-minute drill.
4-minute drill. You want to hand the ball, you want to close the game out. That guy is your hammer. He can catch the ball.
And then you can kind of move, like in that situation, you can have Kamara maybe be like a slot receiver too.
Bingo.
So,
a lot of
I
two
feel-
back sets, and you got 2 running backs on the field.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with both you guys. I feel it doesn't affect the Saints as much because they signed Latavius Murray. Now, if it was a situation where they lost him, and they're basically trying to like panic and try to find a guy to replace him, then yes, I feel like it would have a huge impact. But the fact that they have Latavius, who's, as you were saying, just a big dude who can be like the power guy for you, especially like in the 4-minute drill, I feel like there's no effect. Because Kamara is still going to get the majority of the touches. And like I said, you have situations where you get Latavius in a running back and move Kamara to the
And
slot.
not only that, Latavius primarily comes from places where he's had to split the carries with somebody before in Oakland and in Minnesota.
He has fresh
So
legs.
it's nothing new.
He has
to him.
fresh legs. And like another thing too, like marking him from a locker room standpoint, he's definitely be missed. But I'm looking forward to seeing like some of these young Saints, like Michael Thomas, even Alvin Kamara, even like a Marshawn Lattimore in defense, step up and take over his leadership role. I mean, yeah, he was a huge leader in our locker room, but I think it's time for somebody to step up and say, you know what, it's my turn, and this is gonna be my team from now on.
Yeah,
That's all the time we have for today, guys.
well, as you heard, there was our buzzer, and we hope you all enjoyed the show. We want to thank Royce for coming on the show.
Man,
It was
appreciate
great
it.
having you, man.
Add a little different mix to it.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully, we have you on future shows.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd love to have you back.
So, all right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks, everybody.